three of us are nuts about the Halloween season. And in fact, I've often pondered the question, is it possible to be frightened by a piece of music? Which leads us to our current concert program, Specters, Sorcerers, and the Supernatural. Last night, Friday the 6th, we performed this concert at the Schenkel United Church of Christ in Pottstown. This Friday, the 13th, we perform at the Mainline Unitarian Church in Devon. Starting at 7 o'clock, program runs just under 2 hours with intermission. Admission is free. The program itself is quite unique. It begins with a piece that I composed called Erlkönig, or Earl King, based on Goethe's text of the same name. Classical music aficionados are very familiar with Schubert's famous setting. A boy and his father are riding through the woods at night on horseback, and they're being chased by the Earl King, this demon, who only the boy can perceive. And the Earl King attempts to entice the boy to come with him, whatever that means, likely to the underworld, the spirit world. And the father cannot perceive the Earl King, denies the existence of the demon, and what follows is horrifying. Following the Earl King is a pair of Verdi arias that Kaitlyn sings. The first, Re dell'abisso affrettati, and the second, Stride la vampa, both of which deal with witches, witchcraft, and actually the second of which deals with the execution of a witch by being burned at the stake. The end of the first half of the program is a piece called Merlin, which effectively fulfills the Sorcerers aspect of our concert title. Merlin, of course, sounds a lot like Merlin, and indeed, Merlin is the Welsh figure that inspired Merlin in Arthurian legend. The piece is actually an arrangement of a trombone concerto that I wrote for trombone and orchestra, but in our context, I performed this piece on the tuba with piano accompaniment. Following a brief intermission, we perform a set of dances and songs, actually, from Manuel de Falla's ballet El Amor Brujo, or Love the Magician. Paul Kachansky, a great violinist, arranged several of the dances from this ballet for violin and piano. But Falla's original ballet also includes several mezzo arias, which, I mean, this is not an opera, it's a ballet, but there is actually a mezzo's role in the ballet, which lends itself perfectly for an illumine rendition. There's violin and piano as orchestra, and voice and piano as orchestra. The story is quite scary, also dealing pretty effectively with specters, sorcerers, and the supernatural all in one, and concludes with his famous ritual fire dance. Next, we do something a little unconventional. We ask you, our audience, for ghost stories. We'll probably have time for 1, 2, maybe even 3 personal ghost stories, or local ghost stories, or general ghost stories that you happen to know that you would be comfortable sharing with the audience. And set behind your ghost stories will be improvised piano music.
A developer wanted to break ground on a new building. However, when they went to break ground, they discovered that the location on which they wanted to build was actually a mass grave of soldiers from the Revolutionary War that nobody knew about until they remembered, oh, there was this diary that had this all written down. Mind you, this girl who lived hundreds and hundreds of years after the Revolutionary War occurred.
Concluding the program is what I believe to be the scariest piece, called The Train Watcher, which I wrote based on a story, a personal story, very, very loosely based on events from my childhood. In the story is in two parts. There are two boys who live in the same residence but are separated by over 100 years, and they both have a fascination with trains. In the earlier boy's case, he fails to hear a train that passes behind his house, and so he goes to investigate at night. The modern boy hears a train that doesn't exist and goes to investigate at night. And all I'll say is that each meets another train watcher in the woods. Please join us this Friday the 13th at the Mainline Unitarian Church in Devon, 7 p.m., in heralding 2017's Halloween season.